Welcome to Goddesses. I'm your host, Blair Minerva. Today on Goddesses, imagine a mind so brilliant it reshaped literature, yet so fragile it teetered on the brink of oblivion. Today, we explore a life haunted by internal storms and ask, what if the very thing that makes you unique is also the thing society tries to silence, and how can you prevent it? You see a single leather boot, worn and abandoned, its laces undone. It rests against a cold stone in the Ouse River, a silent witness to a story that will haunt you. The gray sky presses down, heavy with unspoken words. This is Virginia Woolf's story, but more importantly, this is your story too. Imagine being born into a world that wants to contain you, to quiet your mind's relentless symphony. Virginia Stephen arrived in Victorian London in 1882, a time when women's voices were expected to be delicate murmurs, not thunderous declarations. From the beginning, she was different. Her childhood was a landscape of intense emotions and profound loss. When her mother died, Virginia was just 13, a moment that would crack open her world, revealing both vulnerability and an extraordinary resilience. You can almost feel the weight of that loss, how it carved channels through her young psyche, creating rivers of creativity that would later become her most powerful writing. In her father's library, Virginia found her first true home. Imagine the rustle of pages, the smell of old books, the tick of a grandfather clock marking time's steady rhythm. Here, surrounded by towering shelves, she wasn't just reading, she was absorbing entire worlds. Each book was a universe, each word a potential rebellion. But the outside world saw her differently. Sensitive, odd, overwhelming. She was teased for her intensity, for seeing and feeling everything with a depth that made others uncomfortable. What they called a weakness was actually her greatest strength. Success came early with the voyage out, but success is a fickle companion when your mind is a landscape of storms. Her mental health was not a weakness. It was a complex terrain of brilliant creativity and profound challenge. And it was. Her mind was both her greatest gift and her most formidable opponent. World War I erupted around her, and the external chaos mirrored her internal struggles. London trembled under bombing raids, and Virginia was trapped in her writing room. The smell of smoke and ink hung heavy in the air. Deadlines pressed. Relationships strained. Her partnership with Leonard Woolf became both an anchor and a challenge. Her manic highs and depressive lows were not just emotional states, they were the raw material of her art. While bombs fell outside, she was constructing entire worlds within Mrs. Dalloway, pioneering a revolutionary writing technique called stream of consciousness. Imagine writing not just with words, but with the very texture of thought itself. When she wrote Mrs. Dalloway, something extraordinary happened. The words didn't just describe experience, they became experience. You could see thoughts flowing across the page, mirroring the complex inner landscapes of human consciousness. This wasn't just writing. This was a radical act of understanding. The recurring chime of Big Ben became more than a sound. It was a metaphor for time, mortality, the fleeting moments that define human existence. Each tick was a heartbeat, each talk a reminder of life's transient nature. If you're enjoying Goddesses, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, Be an Unstoppable Woman. Lead without apology using quiet power tactics from influential females like Oprah, Malala, and RBG. Now, back to the episode. Critics descended like vultures. They called her work experimental, too introspective. But Virginia Woolf was not interested in fitting into their neat little boxes. Within the Bloomsbury Group, she found solidarity. But even there, she was challenged to make her work more accessible. Accessibility. She was rewriting the entire language of human experience. To the Lighthouse became her masterpiece of defiance. Each page was a rebellion against traditional narrative structures. Society wasn't ready for her vision, a world where women's inner lives were as complex and valuable as any man's story. Her feminist perspective was a thunderbolt in a world of whispers. You might think genius is a gift. For Virginia, it was a burden. Her mental health teetered on a razor's edge. World War II loomed, a darkness that mirrored her internal struggles. At Monk's house, her sanctuary, she wrote her final work. The threat of war, the pressure of her own brilliant, turbulent mind, they converged like storm clouds. She was writing not just a book, but her final testament. Her final letter to Leonard was more than words. It was a map of her soul, a goodbye written between the lines. You can almost feel the weight of that moment, the decision to step away, to silence the storms that had both created and destroyed her. When Leonard discovered the letter, the pain in his eyes spoke volumes. This was not just a loss of a wife, but the potential silencing of a revolutionary voice. But here's the miracle. Virginia Woolf could not be silenced. Her ideas on feminism, her stream of consciousness technique, rippled through time. Across generations, women picked up her books and found themselves reflected in her words. Imagine the power of a voice that transcends its own time. As the story circles back to that lonely riverbank, something profound emerges. The abandoned boot, the gray river, they are not symbols of defeat. They are invitations. An invitation to listen, an invitation to understand. You might be thinking, what does this mean for me? Here's the truth. Your struggles are not your weakness. They are the raw material of your most powerful self. Virginia Woolf's life is not a tragedy. It's a challenge to embrace your complexity, to recognize that what makes you different is precisely what makes you extraordinary. Your oddness is not something to hide. It's your genius waiting to be unleashed. Listen to the storms within you. They are not chaos. They are creativity waiting to be understood. They are your unique voice waiting to change the world. What will you do with your own beautiful, terrifying, magnificent storm? On the next episode of Goddesses, imagine if one of history's greatest minds, whose genius was lost to time, had left behind not just ideas, but a blueprint for the future. After delving into Virginia Woolf's tumultuous journey, ask yourself, could there be another unsung hero waiting in the wings? Next week, we dive into the realm of groundbreaking scientists and technologists as we introduce you to Ada Lovelace, a woman whose algorithmic vision was centuries ahead of its time. Discover how she battled societal expectations and illness to birth the first computer program, leaving behind a tale of female empowerment and scientific innovation that will leave you questioning. What could our world have looked like if only society had let her code? Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code, or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, Be an Unstoppable Woman. 7 days, 7 iconic women. Master the art of quiet power, lead without apology, and turn femininity into your greatest weapon. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/GOD. Thanks for watching.